ProLinks Media, celebrating more than a decade of your stories, and we're just getting started.
In the shadow of Table Mountain, where the Western Cape High Court stands as a symbol of constitutional democracy, a storm rages. Pearl Walsh, a tenacious litigant, has become the face of a battle against systemic judicial corruption, threatening the very soul of South Africa's legal order. Her 7-year odyssey, documented in 27,000 pages of evidence, alleges a judiciary riddled with bias, manipulation, and collusion. Pearl's journey began with a property dispute that spiraled into a Kafkaesque nightmare.
The unjust within the justice system and how corrupt some of these judges and registrars are, obstructing justice in favor of big law firms, particularly a attorney who's the director of this law firm, Mr. Barry Goodkin. Mr. Barry Goodkin is known for his abuse of the legal system, legal tactic, where he fails to allow women their rights in maintenance and support when it comes to divorces and estates. I'm fighting the estate of my late life partner, where I was registered in Switzerland on the Swiss tax system as the life partner of Hans-Dieter Fuchs, and to have access to the bank accounts in Switzerland and to register the estate. The domicile and residence of my partner is Cape Town, South Africa. He became a South African national. Jurisdiction is South Africa, where he was an income taxpayer and of course, resident living in South Africa, traveling back to Switzerland. The trustee, one trustee, Francine Anne du Plessis, has 8 accounts of fraud against her in the High Court of the Western Cape, which 16 judges have ignored and failed to apply law for the investigation and for an interdict on the estate to block the estate on behalf of me while we do this investigation. And I'm struggling to get SARS to do the tax investigation as much as I've approached SARS to look into the income tax and investigate the trust and the estate taxes. SARS have failed to come on record. The judges have failed to assist me with interim maintenance. They have failed to assist me with an interim interdict. I've got a pre-trial pending, and Mr. Goodkin continues to violate my human rights, my constitutional rights, by getting the registrars of this High Court to obstruct justice and favor him. I am now being pulled into a hearing where I have clearly stated last year, August 2024, that I will not be available for the 11th of February because it's my son's birthday. I'm a single mother raising my son, having to get my son to school at the time that Judge Nathan Erasmus is now requesting a Teams meeting at 7:15 in the morning on record in favor of Mr. Barry Goodkin. I have requested that Judge Nathan Erasmus recuse himself of my matters because I've been in 2 hearings prior with Judge Nathan Erasmus where he was completely biased and prejudicial towards me. Now, it should be within the right for me to have this judge recused. I have requested on numerous occasions from the judge president for her assistance, but I'm being blocked by Mrs. Potgieter, who is the registrar of the new judge president. With him having said all of this, now, the chief registrar, Ms. Ron Davis, clearly told me I'm barking up the wrong tree when I searched for my rights according to the uniform rules of the court in order to have my submissions for my applications. With all these registrars ignoring, not assisting, whether it is laypersons or other citizens or other officers of the court, they are violating the rule of law and the right for us to access justice. Now, clearly what is happening here with Judge Nathan Erasmus ignoring to recuse himself from this matter and forcing me to have this matter heard for tomorrow morning at an ungodly time where I have to get my son ready for school. And I clearly told them that I'm not available, including numerous emails, copying in all registrars, including Mr. Barry Goodkin, the director of Bagsmans in the Western Cape. They have blatantly ignored my communication. They are violating my human rights and insist that they will make orders whether I'm there or not. Now, this matter was not agreed upon. This also violates a directive of the acting judge president Goliath from last year, December 2024, where they are ignoring that the acting judge president has given a directive. Now, this is a clear indication that they are ignoring not only me, I'm sure there are a number of other citizens that are being ignored, but they are undermining the new judge president's power. They are undermining the fact that I've requested since January 7th a meeting. I've asked Judge Nathan Erasmus to direct this meeting and for him to recuse himself to the new judge president. This means that clearly that he undermines the rights of the new judge president in this high court as well. People, we have a huge problem. We have a problem where judges are abusing their powers. They are violating our human rights. They're making orders with or without us, whether we are present, whether we've been served documents or not. I am speaking on behalf of every citizen of South Africa, their constitutional rights, their human rights, which are being violated. Many people may have found themselves homeless because judges have abused their powers and made orders without these people's ability and their human rights to be expressed. They've ignored me continuously, consistently. Sorry, I've tried to get this message out as fast as I can to you. But 16 judges in this high court I would like to have investigated. We must get rid of the rot in the system. 2 official judges have already been removed from their post as judges of the high court. It does not mean that the judges who are ill-treating us, abusing their power, that is biased and prejudicial towards us, is not able to be removed. I have personally seen Judge Nathan Erasmus collect documents from the print shop where he basically ignored an advocate who had the right to copy these files. He had his registrar, Ms. Fadila Davis, remove those documents from the print shop. Him as a judge himself outside his chambers, ranting and screaming in the main street of Curum, where he says, get those files away, including the copies for the advocate who probably had a lawful right. It is a shame that we allow people like this in power. And I'm sure he started out as a good judge, but this judge not only has violated my human rights, he's been biased. I've had an exfoliation before him. He looked at me and he said, don't ever mention my colleagues in your court hearings. It struck me off for lack of urgency. I then was highly disappointed. Not only was I prejudiced, it was irreparable harm that this judge has caused me, and he fails to step down and recuse himself from this matter, and now forcing himself to case manage my matters, where he was the initial judge when I made the first application to tell me, you are not right for this hearing, go and find a lawyer. Now, who is a judge to tell you to go and find a lawyer when our constitution clearly states that you can represent yourself, you can have access to courts, but yet our rights are being violated because judges in this court clearly supports lawyers as legal robbers so that they can generate fees and impoverish the people, but they benefit themselves. And I must say, as a self-represented litigant in this high court, I am ashamed of some of the judges, Judge Slingers as well. Before her, I had a hearing. There was a challenge between the irregularities on the order she made. She then penalized me, where she heard my matter. She knew that the matter was past the date that the order would be moot, and she still penalized me with a cost order and denied me condemnation for this order for her access to appeal this matter. Then the registrars of the High Court refused me, even with the direction of the acting judge president, to accept my appeal before a full bench of judges. People, our rights are being violated daily. I am sure there are hundreds and thousands of you that have been before judges like this, but you did not understand your rights. You did not understand the law, and you did not understand the process of the court. I reach out to you where we have to filed to the Minister of Justice, the JSC, the Parliament, to regulate people like these judges that needs to be removed from their post. Thank you so much. Pearl Walsh, a self-represented litigant in the High Court of the Western Cape.
She claims judges dismissed her constitutional rights, favored opposing counsel, and enabled asset seizures through procedural machinations. The courts have become a criminal cabal, she asserts, protecting the powerful while crushing ordinary citizens. Yet Pearl's struggle is emblematic of a systemic failure. The JSC, designed to insulate the judiciary from political interference, has itself been marred by controversy. Critics argue it prioritizes political loyalty over merit, risking professional competence for demographic representativity. This tension exploded in 2024 when the Western Cape High Court interdicted a judge, accused of gross misconduct, from serving on the JSC. Pearl's claims resonate with broader scandals. At the Zondo Commission, acting SSA Director General Loyiso Jafta alleged strong circumstantial evidence of bribes paid to judges to sway rulings in favor of former President Jacob Zuma. One particular judge's case epitomizes the system's flaws. After a 15-year battle, he was impeached in 2024 for attempting to influence constitutional court judges. His subsequent nomination to the JSC by an opposition party sparked outrage, with activists arguing it mocked judicial accountability. When courts falter, democracy unravels. South Africa's constitution grants judges sweeping powers to check executive and legislative excesses. But as Pearl's ordeal shows, these powers mean little if judges lack independence or integrity. Without trust, citizens turn to vigilantism or apathy, fracturing social cohesion. Judicial bias enables authoritarianism. But when judges themselves are compromised, such checks dissolve. Proving judicial misconduct is notoriously difficult. Even when misconduct is proven, removal requires a 2/3 parliamentary majority and JSC approval, a high bar in a polarized polity. The glacial pace of JSC investigations further undermines accountability. Pearl Walsh's fight is a microcosm of South Africa's existential struggle. Her allegations challenge the nation to confront uncomfortable truths. As Judge Stephen Majit once warned, without an independent judiciary, the Constitution is but a parchment promise. For Pearl, and for South Africa, the question remains, can the judiciary heal itself, or will it succumb to the rot it was meant to eradicate? Stories connect us all. Subscribe and hit the bell to never miss an update from our channel.
At ProLinks Media, we do more than just create videos. We partner with you every step of the way to bring your vision to life. From capturing life's special moments with stunning photography, to crafting compelling video narratives and delivering innovative branding solutions, we ensure your message is communicated effectively. Whether it's building your brand identity, enhancing your digital presence, or creating impactful content, ProLinks Media is here to help you tell your story and leave a lasting impression. ProLinks Media. Tell your story.